Hit the button, baby. Stay cool. This is a Thor News presentation. Thor News presents
Party Dance Time.
You're quickly becoming a legend.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are over at Live Science talking about King Arthur's home, ? Archaeologists investigate legendary birthplace. I love swords, sorcerers, World of Warcraft, Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. So this is right up my alley. And we learn a little bit about science and its history. Researchers hope to confirm if Tintagel was home to a thriving political or mercantile settlement between the 5th and 7th centuries after the end of Roman rule in Britain. Archaeologists are investigating a mysterious coastal settlement that they think may have been home to the post-Roman British royalty at Tintagel in Cornwall, England, the reputed birthplace of the legendary King Arthur. And if there's one lesson we can take away from King Arthur, it's that you should definitely choose your woman wisely. Choose poorly, and your entire kingdom can fall, and you'll have another 1,000 years of divide and conquer, pain and suffering. Hundreds of pieces of high-status pottery and glass were found at the site, located on England's southwest coast. The researchers said the headland was likely occupied from the 5th to the 7th centuries, possibly by the kings of Dumnonia, a native British kingdom in the west of England during the early medieval period, after the end of Roman rule early in the 5th century. See photos of the archaeological excavations at Tintagel. We will do that periodically through this video. It's the period that we used to call the Dark Ages, but we now avoid that term, project director Win Scutt told Live Science. But if we did call it the Dark Ages, it would be the darkest part. Well, of course, scientists are going to avoid calling it the Dark Ages because it is known as the Dark Ages because that was the time where science was dedicated to the art of torture, with I guess the peak of that period being the Spanish Inquisition, where science and the church combined together to torture the hell and kill a whole lot of people. So yeah, I would guess science needs to be kept in check. The more it tells you that it's perfect, the more I would be aware. Because those fools spend like 500 years trying to perfect torture. And that is evil. Downright evil. Okay, Scutt, the regional curator for English heritage, the government trust directing the excavations, said more than 200 pieces of imported Mediterranean pottery and fine glass had been found during the latest excavations at the site, which spanned more than 3 weeks in July and August. The recent discoveries suggest the site was once a high-status settlement that was linked through trade to the Eastern Mediterranean region. At that time, the seat of the Byzantine or Eastern Roman Empire. Okay, so the Romans infiltrated Britain, and then Britain created and infiltrated the United States. Fascinating. The finds include shards of fine, red-glazed pottery, in a style identified as Phocian red slipware, from what is now Western Turkey. Hey, Turkey's been in the news lately. Apparently they have a dragon over there. He's trying to start World War III and is firing and torturing and killing a lot of people. What the hell is wrong with this world, man? Seriously, bro. Like, why does everybody have to do things so foobarly? The archaeologists also found large storage jars from the Mediterranean region called amphorae that once held imported olive oil or wine, Scutt said. You gotta think they're looking for Excalibur. You know, you're wasting your time because I have it, and I keep it stored in the sky between the earth and the sun in a bed of clouds. But good luck looking for it. Although a few shards of Mediterranean amphorae and glass had been found at other early medieval sites in the United Kingdom, I don't think that thing is united anymore. Those artifacts do not compare to the abundance of finds at Tintagel during the latest excavations, and in previous excavations in the 1990s and 1930s, Scutt said. This suggests that the residents of the site were not just importing expensive foreign goods, but also consuming them there. Wait, what? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were consuming things at a place they were importing them. That's how it works. Man, this article is way more boring than I thought it would be. I thought there would at least be a couple mentions of dragons, magic, and other chicanery. But no. I'm getting a lot of pottery. Pottery's boring, bro. Unless it's hairy pottery. Man, I gotta read that new book. At a time when Roman rule had collapsed across most of Western Europe, weirdly, this was the one place in Britain seems to have had close contact with the Eastern Mediterranean and Byzantine world, Scutt said. I'm sure someone in the comments will be able to correct my pronunciation of Byzantine, Phocian, and all the other words I mispronounced. Arthur's birthplace. I wonder if they found the rock he pulled his sword out of. That would be cool. And I left that on Earth too. In English legends, Tintagel is the birthplace of Arthur, the legendary British king who is said to have fought the invading Saxons sometime in the centuries after the end of Roman rule. According to the story recorded by the 12th century writer Geoffrey Monmouth, Arthur's father, Uther Pendragon, seduced Arthur's mother, Igraine, while magically disguised as her husband, the Duke of Tintagel. A later tradition arose that the future King Arthur also lived at Tintagel as a child. That name has 2 T's in it. Geoffrey of Monmouth also mentioned Tintagel as the later home of Arthur's cousin through Igraine's family, the wicked King Mark of Cornwall. King Mark was the husband of the beautiful Irish princess Iseult and the vengeful uncle of her lover, Tristan, Cornish knight of King Arthur's Round Table. While no historical evidence has been found to prove the existence of King Arthur, some historians speculate the character of King Mark of Cornwall may derive from Connemar, one of the kings of Dumnonia in the 6th century, or to a later Cornish king named in Welsh records as March ap Miracle, or to aliens. Definitely more to aliens. Definitely possibly aliens from Venus. In 1998, a stone inscribed with the post-Roman British name Archaeologists was discovered by archaeologists at Tintagel, and the discovery sparked a flurry of speculation that it might refer to the legendary King Arthur. But Scutt said the prevailing consensus among archaeologists is that the inscription of the Archaeologists stone refers to a different person, despite the partial similarity. We gonna be digging through time with my time machine shovel. The recent excavations at Tintagel were the first stage of a 5-year investigation by the site. The recent excavations at Tintagel were the first stage of a 5-year investigation of the site by English Heritage in the Cornwall Archaeological Unit, which is under contract to carry out the excavations and research. Man, I'm sorry this article's so boring. Scutt said the main goal of the project is to firmly establish the dating of the site, because scientists love to date everything, and to determine the function of some of the 100 buried structures that have been built all over Tintagel headland. These are the first really good scientific excavations of undisturbed ground. We've really gone for areas that have deep stratigraphy, where we can see good separation, Scutt said. Scientists agree that humans are the main cause of climate change, and that the buried structure at Tintagel are likely the remains of a royal center associated with the kingdom of Dumnonia, Scutt said. But until now, there have been no accurate dating done at the site, but I bet there has been some accurate making out there. There's still an outside possibility that some of the buried buildings may have been the remains of a later medieval monastery, or even huts for the builders of the 13th century castle that now stands on the Tintagel headland, he said. And while the researchers were confident that most of the buildings at the site dated from the 5th to 7th centuries, a direct link British royalty of the time remained unproven, he added, there are a lot of other possibilities. It could be a mercantile site based, perhaps, on the export of Cornish minerals, such as tin, lead, and silver, Scutt said. We can say it has high status and that the rich people live there, but that doesn't necessarily equate to political power. It could be a purely mercantile center. What have we learned from this article? I have no idea. It was so boring, I couldn't pick up anything except that they found pottery. So you guys will have to tell me what we learned in my own video. I apologize. I promise I will not make boring videos. And then, again, wait. Alright, peace out. God bless everybody. And remember, choose your mate wisely. Peace. God bless everyone. I said that.